I'm here on the island of Stromboli in Italy. With its black sand beaches, tiny villages and no normal roads or cars, this isn't your typical travel destination. So what draws people in? This, the mighty active volcano rising out of the sea. When Lord of the Rings author J.R.R. Tolkien sailed past Mount Stromboli, he said he had never seen anything that looked so much like Mount Doom in Mordor, which is where Frodo went to destroy the ring. And in a recent New York Times article, one of the locals likened it to being on one of the miniature planets in the universe of the famous book The Little Prince. This is my second visit to Stromboli. My first visit to this volcanic island was in 2009. And since then, I've learned about the slow living movement and I knew I had to come back. I remember being in awe of the volcano, yet feeling calm and at peace here. Nicknamed the Lighthouse of the Mediterranean, Stromboli is the most remote of the Aeolian Islands, situated between Sicily and Italy's mainland. Its volcano has been erupting almost continuously for over 2,000 years. Most of these are mild to moderate and occur throughout the day. But every once in a while, a major eruption serves as a reminder that this is a dangerous place to live. The last one was very recent, in August 2019. So as a result, the population decreased from a few thousand in the early 1900s to below 500 today. From my last visit, I remember little details like a fishmonger yelling "pesce" early in the morning to sell his fish. There were the fun-looking carabinieri golf carts, the white houses, the quaint little streets, and a desolate-looking volcano towering above it all. But most of all, I remember how I felt. Present, alive, and really taking in this natural phenomenon. We hiked up the volcano to this platform, which is about halfway. If you want to go any further, you need to go with a guide. It was pitch black. I remember it being new moon and there were no artificial lights. I could really look at the starry sky in a way that I'd never been able to before. And then we heard this rumbling sound. And as we turned our head, we saw this fiery red lava erupt into the air, meters high, like natural fireworks. It was amazing. A lot has changed in my life since then, but now that I'm back here, the feeling is the same. To get here, you take a ferry from the port of Milazzo. We arrived yesterday, and on our first night we visit Osservatorio. This is a restaurant with probably the best unobstructed view of the volcano on the entire island. It was an amazing spectacle. As we were eating away, every 5 to 10 minutes we'd see bright red lava erupt against the backdrop of the summit and starry sky. Unreal. And trying to make our way back to our apartment was an adventure in and of its own. So we just woke up here on Stromboli in our Airbnb, and it's so peaceful. I could totally live here. We've got the view of the Mediterranean Sea and the volcano on the other side. Birds chirping this morning. It's just so quiet. This year I learned about the slow living movement, which is all about creating balance, wanting to live better in a fast-paced modern world. Be fast when it makes sense to be fast, yet slow when slowness is called for. And Stromboli calls for taking things slowly. Islands have a different vibe than the mainland. It's like that song from the Hawaiian artist John Cruz, "On the island, we do it island style." And in my experience, the smaller the island, the more that rings true. We intentionally booked an apartment without Wi-Fi to really unplug for a few days. So we can spend our time outdoors, inhaling the salty sea air, strolling through the picturesque roads of San Bartolo and San Vincenzo, going for a walk on the black sand beach, enjoying the view of the ocean, slowing down to the pace of the island, all under the watchful eye of the omnipresent Mount Stromboli. I find that in a place like this, I'm better able to reflect on my life and think about the bigger picture. When I'm going through my routine day by day, I can't always zoom out as much. To think bigger and differently, it really helps to do it in a place that literally expands your horizon. Check out this view, this is insane. So here are a few reflections I've had while being on this island. Being here on an active volcano that could erupt at any time reminds me of memento mori, the Latin monk greeting that means remember that you will die. The idea behind it is that any day could be your last, so live your life to the fullest. Being here is humbling. Locals respect the volcano. To them it even has a personality. They call it idu, meaning he in Sicilian. We can't control external circumstances, only our reaction to them. And there are few places on Earth that illustrate this better than being here on Stromboli. Another insight I had here is that, to me, a rich life is one that's full of joyful and meaningful experiences. And while making money is a means to that end, it is not the end goal. When I'm in execution mode, grinding away behind my laptop, I can easily push that thought to the side. But being here reminds me that, while working is necessary, there's more to life than meeting deadlines or doing business. And finally, being here illustrates to me that slow living is not about doing everything slowly. I could not live at a slow pace continuously. But the slow living lifestyle came up as a counter-movement to our addiction to speed. If going fast is the default, learning to slow down helps restore balance. Being in non-stop hyperdrive can cause all kinds of trouble long term. So taking it down a notch every once in a while is a way to recharge your battery. Even better if you can do it in a place where you can connect with nature. We aren't designed to expend energy continuously. Rather, we're meant to pulse between spending and recovering energy. If we carve out moments to slow down, we will be ready to accelerate when it's really needed. After a trip like this, I feel rejuvenated. I'm actually looking forward again to going back, living in a city, working with deadlines, making a dent. My trip to Stromboli is coming to an end. I hope to return here in the near future, staying for longer, taking my time to live slowly and reflect on life. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video inspired you to live more slowly and perhaps also visit Stromboli yourself one day. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe for more content like this, and let me know in the comments below. Could you see yourself living on an island with an active volcano? Take care, and I hope to see you in the next video.